Today we are solving the one-step problems, but what we have to do first is write the equation, and then we're going to solve, and be careful with the equations. So a number decreased by 16 is a negative 26. So a number, now today I'm going to use x because I told you could use whatever you wanted. A number decreased, so if it's decreased, it's subtracted by 16, is always equal to a negative 26. Now to find the number, we do what we do on our bell work. Box up the x. This is like subtracting, so we're going to add 16 to both sides. These cancel each other out, so I'm left with x equals, and a negative plus a positive you subtract. So 26 minus 16 is 10, but then you keep the sign of the bigger number. So x equals a negative 10. 1/4 of a number is a negative 60. Find the number. 1/4 x equals a negative 60. Remember, this is like multiplying, so when we would divide by a 1/4, it's like multiplying, when you divide, it's like multiplying by the multiplicative reciprocal. So those cancel each other out, so I'm left with x. If I multiply that side by the multiplicative reciprocal, same goes over here. So 6 times 4, how I'm doing my math, is 24, and then I just bring in my 0. A negative times a positive is a negative. The product of negative 8, so product means to multiply, negative 8 and a number equals 104, because is mean it equals. So the product of a negative 8 and a number, so that's this here. Draw my line, divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8. I don't know that in my head, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do it. 8 goes into 10 once, 2 left, 8 goes into 24 3 times. So, and a positive divided by negative is a negative. So n equals a negative 13. Twice a number is 346. Find the number. So we just do twice times a number is 346. Draw my line, box up the n, divide by 2 on both sides. Again, I'm not going to do that in my head. So I'm going to do 346 divided by 2. 2 goes into 3 once. 1 left. 2 goes into 14 7 times. Excuse me. Excuse me. And 2 goes into 6 3 times. So n equals 173. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to box up my answer so you can see it a little bit better. So even though they're one-step problems, you still have to do some work. A number increased by a negative 27. So a number increased by a negative 27 is 110. Instead of adding, so this is where sometimes it might confuse you guys, because we're adding a negative, so now we're going to add a positive 27 to both sides, because you're always adding the additive inverse. N equals 137. Tim weighs 5 pounds more than Mitchell. Find Mitchell's weight if Tim weighs 93 pounds. So on this one, I don't want you just to solve it. You have to write the equation, and you have to ask yourself, who do we not know how much, we don't know how much who weighs. We don't know how much Mitchell weighs. But it says Tim weighs 5 pounds more than Mitchell. So it'd be Mitchell plus 5 is Tim, and Tim weighs 93 pounds. So then you'll solve it from that. And you can have any letter for Mitchell if you want. I just put Mitchell because that's what we're solving for. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. And $88 is your answer. So Mitchell weighs 88 pounds. The cost of 5 books is $71. What is the cost of each book? We need to find the cost of the book. Okay? And we know the cost of 5 books. I know most of you are just going to be like, well, it's just 71 divided by 5. But we have to write it as an equation. So it would be 5 books times how much do they each cost? That would be my letter, equals 71. That's my equation. Then I would divide by 5 on both sides. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do it. 5 goes into 7 once. 2 left. Bring down the 1, goes in there 4 times. 1 left. Add a decimal. Add your 0. Make sure you add that 0, so it would be $14.20. But if you don't, the main part of this bell work was writing the equation. Make sure you write the correct equation. The cost of a filter is $4. What is the cost of 6 filters? So this we would just have to find our total. So it'd be 4 times the 6, that equals my X. So $24 equals X. Because you know how many filters you have and you know the cost. Make sure you are looking and making sure your equations are correct and that you have also solved it correctly. Take the picture and submit it to today's bell, please, with your corrections.